कर लो या मैम से पूछ लो, बट अब बोलना नहीं लाइव.
We are live.
Hi
A
Kulpreet.
very good afternoon. Hi, Lovejeet. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Awesome, awesome. I have to call you Alex. I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am fine. A very warm welcome to everyone to this fourth episode of Building the Future Together series, uh, which we started last year as a part of building collaborative spirit among corporates, among people, because that's what we think the present and the future is going to be. Rather than being competitive, we need to be collaborative. And today we have with us Lavjeet Alexander, who is editor in chief, Founder India Group, and our topic is the new age media. And let's welcome Lavjeet Alexander. He comes with more than 2 decades of experience in media and journalism, and obviously a little stint in PR as well in between. Having worked with top media houses like the Times of India, Hindustan Times, Dainik Jagran, Sahara Samay, he has covered various sectors and industries. His varied interest and in-depth knowledge of business practices, policy framework, and public affairs make him a versatile journalist and an eloquent bilingual news anchor. A warm welcome to you, Alex.
Hi. Thanks for having me, Kulpreet. This is such an honor to be on this platform, and let's build this together. Building the future together 2.0 is something that we should actually do. It's a need of the hour, and this is so uh, inspiring an initiative from you and your company. So, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Alex. And as you know, the today's subject is the new age media, and you are the founder of Founder India, which is setting new standards in the new age media. So let me, start by asking you that how has new age media changed the face of media, and maybe if you can touch upon the PR sector also. So how the new age media is changing the face of media.
Yeah, so that is what I wanted to correct you with that question, that it hasn't changed as yet, but that process is on, and that tectonic shift is already happening. While you'll see all those things in the near future, it is already there in, let's say, some different pockets and sectors. So it is already affecting that. Think of it in terms of corporate world. You can't ignore digital media, you can't ignore digital platforms, the news medias and all kinds. Likewise, think of it politically. So no political party or personality can ignore that and not be on social media and claim to be a leader. So that is how things have become now. But yeah, social media is one part of it, one side of it, and digital media is the bigger ambit, the bigger environment. And digital media is, it is gonna change it drastically. So why I'll give you a couple of points, reasons basically. That, see, what is happening is this has given me the power to do a media setup, do a media venture without having those deep pockets. As in earlier, I had to have some big financer behind me, some big corporate house, and that huge money was required to start a media group. Now you, all you need is just a mobile phone with internet, which might not cost even more than 4 5 thousand bucks, and so cheap are the bandwidth, the data, these things, packages, and all those things, and anybody can be media. Although that's not the best of the example, but I'm just drawing the parallel. Now think of it, if it can be so cheap, it can be so cost effective that somebody can claim to be a media person or can become more like a media brand with that small money. Think of it, if I have some decent money, a bit more than that, I have some vision and mission, I have some design in place, some ethics in place, and some experience in place, and then I put it all together and come up with a media package, a media brand. I can change the world. As in, you don't need that multi CR kind of investment. You can start it with a few thousand or just a few lakhs. So that is the biggest thing, and that has given the power. So now anybody, an independent journalist or a group of journalists, and these kind of people. So you must have seen those experiments. People are doing that, as in single-handedly doing that, or becoming a YouTuber or an influencer or a media person doing, who is out of his job and out of his media company, and now doing it independently, covering stories, kind of doing those political influencing and all those things. So it is happening. It's out there. It's real. It's for real, and you can't ignore it. If we can do it in a more holistic, organized way, so then it won't be just a blip. It will be an organized revolution of sorts is in the making. So yeah, it is there, and we are part of that.
Yeah, and Alex, I think you mentioned a very valid point that being on the digital media requires very less investment. So I think that's a very and somebody can start with that less investment. Saying that, what do you think are the other reasons behind the popularity of this new digital media? Because yes, traditional media, we still have TV channels, we still have newspapers, we still have news websites, but this new media which is emerging, what are the other reasons of popularity which you feel in your case also? How come you came with Founder India as a platform, as a new age platform to I think it's a very disruptive platform which you are in the making of. So what are the reasons of this you can say popularity or maybe a shift?
So let me add to that uh, we should always remember that nothing is gonna replace anything. Most of these things, they don't go away forever, and most of these things, they keep on coming on. They continue to exist. Newspaper are not extinct. Even somebody like me, I can't start my day without going through the pages, as in having that print experience in the morning with a cup of tea. I can't imagine my day without that. So that isn't extinct. But television came in, electronic media came in, and it made its own space, as in created a space for its own sector, its own genre. Then think of it, radio was almost extinct, as in my generation, and I can't remember of listening to radio and that kind of music or songs. And even Amin Saini was like very early years, if I can remember, barely remember. I don't remember him like following him that religiously, but yeah, it came back in the form of FM radio revolution. So these things keep on coming. They keep on creating their own space. Likewise, digital media, the new age media that we are discussing, and one of the experiments that we are doing here at Founder India. So we are creating our own space. So think of it, Netflix or Amazon or these kind of OTT platforms, Alt Balaji, Hotstar, Disney, and MX Player, and these. So they created their own space. It's not like they haven't replaced the satellite channels or that medium, the set-top box. But yeah, it might happen, because ultimately this is OTT. OTT is over the top. So same screen, same television, and a software or a platform takes over that screen, and that set-top box becomes defunct. That satellite channel which was streaming behind becomes defunct. But there are pros and cons. So there will be people who will stick to that, who would like to watch their 9 p.m. That ho halla kind of debate show, and there'll be people who will be more interested in crisp, smaller stories and things like that. So there will be space for everybody. And with this digital revolution, the digital media revolution is also happening, and we are creating our own space. We have our own pros. We might have our own cons. So for as of now, think of it, the regulation issues, they are there. So there, that's why there are so many players who are not actually players. They are just making some quick money, getting some quick fame, or maybe also running their own agenda. But that's okay, as in these things happen initially, and then the filtration keeps on happening. So that's the process. That distillation is still happening. So by the end of it, we'll be reaching somewhere where digital media, the new age media, will be there as a respected medium. It is already there as a respected medium, but yeah, we have to filter it out with some of those not so reputed things coming in, those experiments. So we here at Founder India, so think of it, I'll give you that as an example, what we are doing. So we are creating a business media network. This business media network is not going to replace CNBC. It's not going to replace the business of those kind of big brands which are there, or not even close to as in Economic Times as Business Standard. That is what we have grown with, and we still follow them as in they are doing amazing work. But think of it, there is a new generation out there which is not at home with a satellite, this television and set-top box and those things, and they are not interested in that linear transmission, where there is a channel which keeps on showing some shows and another show and another show, and you have no role other than to switch to another channel, and you can't do beyond anything beyond that. At the best, what you can do is just switch to another channel and then switch to another channel. Think of it in news world, in this news category, you still have n number of options. In this business world, where as in business news and business media, the word you don't have that many options. 2 channels, 3 channels, if they are showing something which is not of your interest, second channel and third channel, and you are done with that. As in, you are not left with any option. You have to go back to that first option. Plus, nobody is listening to you. So here, what we are doing at Founder India, as of now, we are doing a live streaming on a daily basis, which focuses on stock market and cryptocurrencies market. So think of it, we are the first ones who went out in that space and started exploring cryptocurrency world.
That's a big world, and that's for us to
Actually,
work out. And I've heard that India is also going to come out with their own crypto coin. So there are some talks going on behind the scenes. So yeah,
actually, you can't
yeah.
ignore that. But traditional media wasn't willing to take that plunge, that risk. So that was a risk, or call it whatever, but it was there, and they were trying to ignore it, trying to downplay that story, that crypto story. We started that live show on cryptocurrencies, and now traditional media has started following. So think of it, we are the setting the trend now. So it has gone like that. So we are not copying those channels, while it's the other way around. Although we are a small startup, a media startup only, but still that's how things are. And this is real time interactive. So what we do is, think of it, if you are watching my show live any day, Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. and after that, later to that, so you just can ask your question on whichever platform you are watching it from. So other than for Amazon, where we stream these shows, Amazon Fire TV, that is, you can, because there you can't engage with us, you can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. And think of it, you are watching it on Twitter, you just comment on that stream that, okay, I have bought so and so share, what should I do? That question comes on my screen, that goes on the output screen, that goes to the guest expert who is there connected. I bounce this question to that guy, and that person, as in the expert, he or she, and they'll respond to that. They'll immediately give you that, okay, oh no, this is stock, this is the time where you should do this, or whatever you should do, hold or sell or whatever. You get that immediate response, and you don't have to stick to that phone call like those traditional media keep on doing, or the WhatsApp thing. You just ask your question on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, wherever, and you get that response. We have gone to another level, that we have also put up a form there. You click there, you just post your question. We'll take that question, we'll do a show with some of the guests who understand those questions well. We'll analyze those things and send back a link to you that, okay, this video is up there, and because this was your question, you should watch this. So this is the kind of real-time interactive work that we are doing, and it's going beyond imagination every next day.
Yeah, you're opening my eyes. Yeah, actually, it's very dynamic, and it's what I like about it. It's two-way. Otherwise, traditional media is always one way, and it's a two-way communication. Like when I'm watching TV, I'm watching some news. I have so many things going on in my head. I want to place my opinion, right? But I want to ask my question, and I'm unable to do that. So I think what you're saying is very, very relevant.
That's the
And
beauty. That's what I say on a daily basis, that I haven't started this channel. We have started. So I talk to my audience, my viewers, and I tell them that this is your channel, and we are building it together on a daily basis. So it's not like just a vision mission kind of statement that I talk about a motherhood statement that, okay, we are building this while it's me who design all those shows and I pick the topic and all those things. It's not like that actually. On a daily basis, on a minute to minute basis, think of it. So you are asking me a question and you tell me that, okay, why don't we have a show on mutual funds? And maybe next hour or next day we get an expert from mutual fund sector and we are discussing mutual funds. So this is how we are building it on a daily basis. That's the beauty of it.
That's really interesting and commendable, Alex. We have started getting some questions. We'll definitely take those questions. Uh, However, I have a question. Like what we are talking about, journalism, content, and all of that. Do you see that the rise of the new age media, is it blurring the lines between content and journalism?
So content, if I understand you rightly, you are talking about the influencer kind of content or what kind of content?
So if you actually go on digital media, there's all sorts of content available. Even the companies are putting out their content. There are a lot of influencers putting out their content. And here is a new age media, which is, we would like to call it the journalistic media, even if it is an individual or a new format coming up. So what is the blurring lines? Do you see blurring lines? Because
Yeah.
today I can, state my opinion. But
Okay.
is my opinion researched? Is my opinion not researched? What am I bringing to my viewer? Right. So like that's my question.
Okay, so let me put it that way, that this is where I started from, as in when we started this discussion, that is what I was saying, that is the exact filtration that I was referring to. So as of now, digital media is that level playing field. So it gave me that level playing field that I can compete or I can come parallel to those big, huge traditional media names, and I am there. So if you are there on YouTube, you'll find here's CNBC Awaz. Let's say because as of now we are doing a daily live Hindi show. So here this is CNBC Awaz. Here this is Z Business, and in between there is Founder India, my live stream. So that is a level playing field on YouTube. We are there all together. Now what matters is how I'm different in terms of content, how I am different, or how. And but again, let's go beyond this. So while we three are there, there might be an X person who is doing the same thing, just with his own small, let's say, webcam, and with sharing chart and talking about his whatever his study is, and he has done some financial this training or some technical analysis of sorts, and he knows a bit about stock market. He might also be doing a similar kind of stream, because all that is freely available. All those tools are freely available to do this kind of streaming. We are doing this streaming via one tool, and that is the same tool which is being used by the biggest of the media houses, and also by the independent people, who individuals who are doing it from their backyard or in the garage. Or in India we don't have those things, who might be from their room, their living room. But yeah, mostly
Wherever they are, wherever they are.
wherever they are, exactly. Yeah, even so this is the beauty, that's the advantage. But then disadvantage is that we don't have an endorsement and a mark, or think of it as stamp, which says that, okay, this is some well researched editorial planned. There is some regulation there that, okay, this is not fake, this is not biased. How do we do that filtration? So that will keep on happening, and ultimately you will find the brands, as in which are organized brands, digital media, or maybe that is the kind of due diligence that readers and viewers are also supposed to do. So that is one challenge that has come up with this opportunity. So opportunity comes is followed by the challenges. So that is how it is. But I think with time this will happen. So you will understand later on that, okay, this is Founder India, this is an organization. When they talk with complete due diligence, and they follow so many norms, and they have that research behind it. And how do I do that? I, on a daily basis, I say and I establish that I am not an expert of stock markets or cryptocurrencies. This is a medium. So we offer a platform where experts come and they share their opinion, and you are supposed to ask those questions, and you can also share your analysis. So think of it, some of my viewers Today also one of my viewer who connects from US, Stanford, and he's an Indian as an NRI, and he works for some financial institution there. He keeps on sharing on in comments only. So I don't know him personally. I don't know, I haven't seen him as yet. And he shares those comments where he talks about, okay, any particular stock and a detailed analysis that what all charts are saying about that stock and what all things he can see and what all the kind of levels he. I just cross-check that analysis with an expert who is connected on my show. So that is what I do, and I keep on telling that, okay, I'm not an expert. I'm not giving any advice here. That is not my cup of tea. This is a platform. We have created a platform, and we are just the messengers. We are just connecting the dots. We are just linking those two people. You ask your question. He is an expert, and I can give you his credentials. So he is an authority on that subject. He has that authority, and he speaks out of that authority. So that is what we are doing, and this is the kind of filtration that will keep on happening, and then eventually you will understand, as in the viewers will understand that, okay, this is the channel to follow, and this is somebody who comes with his own agenda and not to be followed. This will keep on happening, so it's okay.
Right, right. And earlier we were chatting and we were talking about influencers as well. One is obviously there is media. Like you are a media house. You are, it's a new age media house, right? So what are your views on influencer marketing, the influencer world, and the sudden boom in the recent past? There's influencers, there are nano influencers, micro influencers, then obviously there are macro influencers. Macro influencers, I think, were always there, like all these celebrities and everybody. But I think these micro, nano influencers have really come up in last 1.5, 2 years. So, what are your views on that? Because today's generation, which is the millennial, they are hooked on to social media, and their consumption is, as you very rightly said earlier, their consumption is not the satellite news at all. They don't go there. That space is not there. They don't even touch a newspaper. They don't even know how it feels. Right? Maybe 15 years down the line. That's what I kind of foresee. Maybe 15 to 20 years down the line, when our generation will like totally fade out, that's when I think the newspapers will also fade out. So in India, I see another 20 years of print media, but I think not beyond that. I don't see print media beyond that. But yeah. So coming back to the question that this influencer space has boomed, completely boomed. Micro, nano influencers, and new age media is also, like you said, started coming up, and there are structured platform like yours. See, yours is a structured platform, but there are influencers who don't have structure, like you just mentioned. But it's booming. So how do you see this, shaping up in next 1 year, 2 year? Because let's see at 1 year, because the things are very, very dynamic right now. So how do you see this next 1 year span?
So I'll divide this question into two parts. Let me do that. So think of it. There are two kind of subjects. How I see, and this is my personal opinion. So I'm honest about it, and that's the disclaimer as well, that it might not be the best way of looking at things, but this is how I look at this issue that you're talking about. So there are two kind of subjects. One is a subject where you can't do much of an experimentation, and you're not supposed to do that. So think of it, if you are talking about medicine, I am not supposed to be an influencer who can talk about, okay, try this medicine, try this injection, try this vaccine, these two vaccines, and you'll get a different kind of vaccine. No, it doesn't work like that. That is not a subject that should be touched like that. So you can't be casual with that. But think of it, if I'm talking about food, I can do that. I can do those experimentations. If I'm talking about wines, if I'm talking about, let's say, mixology and those things, even photography, videography, creative fields, basically. So let's say we are talking about lifestyle kind of things. So those are the things where you can afford to do experiments. They may or may not fail. That's a different story. But you can do those experiments, and you are open to it, you're free to, because there's not a big risk or any huge risk involved there. But there are things like economy, there are things like politics, there's things like let's say the overall business things and all those things. Education, for that matter, is one. Medicine, like we talked about. So these are those kind of genres, those kind of sectors which are not supposed to be experimented with. as an and at least the kind of the people who are not well equipped or are not don't have that kind of authority, education, training, and that overall infrastructure to experiment with these things, they should not do that. So that's the differentiator, and that differentiator percolates to the influencer world as well. So I'm fine with influencers, because I guess, if I'm not wrong, these influencers have been always there. So it wasn't like just the platform, the new mediums have started now we know of Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all those things. But it wasn't like that earlier people were not influencers, as in those journalists, the senior journalists we talk about, the senior politicians we talk about, the senior leaders, so many leaders, activists, NGOs, and those kind of people, even like so of Bahuguna and those people who have done these this great work, so many activists, so many these things, revolutions, they were influencers and they had their own journals. Just that medium wasn't there. The challenge was that then they were dependent on so many mediums. So if I am an influencer, if I am an activist, I am dependent on a newspaper to spread this word. Now I have a medium where I am not dependent and there is no editorial Caesar here. I can be blunt with my ideas, I can be blunt with my vision, and that goes straight out via these social media platforms. My consumer, my audience may like it, may not like it. If they don't like it, if majority of it is not liking it, I'll be trolled, so I'll face the brunt. If they like it, I'll be an influencer with a million views and followers next day. So this is how it is. But it's okay with some of those genres. Some of the genres, I would say that they should be left alone, and that is where we should deal with these things delicately, as in for those specific sectors. And that is what we are also doing, because we are talking about businesses, we are talking about economy, where people's jobs, livelihood is dependent, profit, which is as in their money, their wealth, all those things depend on the subject that I talk about, the my channel works on. So we can't be casual about that. So here, influencer work is very risky affair, and I would suggest people should also not get influenced, because you have no clue that if I am getting any money for the words that I'm as in using, or the kind of review that I am giving. So you have no clue. So you will just follow me and you'll you buy that stock or that product or whatever, because you say that okay, Alex has done this review and this review says wow, this product is so amazing, while I might be getting paid for doing that review. So those are the challenges. And again, back to that this filtration will keep on happening, and maybe later on someday we see that it settles down. So it has settled down with so many things. Think of it, music industry. So there are influencers, and it's good to have those influencers. So many, as in the kind of talent that has come out of social media with those kind of influencers, that has been amazing. So many fashion designers, so many names that we know now never got chance via the normal system, the music or whatever. So they never got an album there, but they came on social media, and now we know them. They are big shots. So it's they are coming from here as well. So while the celebrities, they have to use social media, you can become a celebrity via social media. So that's the beauty of it.
Right. So you were mentioning a very interesting thing that on the new media and also specifically with the influencers, there is no editorial presence, right? So there is obviously there could be a difference of how the new age media is using content and how traditional media is using content. So do you see difference? And if yes, like what are the differences? One you already shared in terms of being honest and there's no editorial scissor. What more than that in terms of difference of content?
Okay, the difference in content between two, which one again? Can you?
The traditional media and the new media.
Okay, so yeah, back to that. That is one important factor. So, like I mentioned, cryptocurrency, the fintech world, traditional media has a kind of I won't say bias, but yeah, they have more like an opinion, and which is more like I would say a hangover of sorts. They have all through their life and decades of experience, they have known about a few asset classes. They are not willing to accept a new asset class which,
Definitely.
which they can't hold in their hand, or which they can't keep in their wallets. And but the world is like that. We use wallets, Paytm and Mobiquick kinds on a daily basis, right? We as in, I don't remember when I touched this currency in the notes last, because I have been doing that smallest to the biggest of things you buy with just a click on your mobile phone. So that money is being exchanged, that all that transaction is happening, but you don't get to touch it. So now you have to accept that this is a possibility. There can be an asset class which you can't touch, which you can't keep in your drawers and in your these safe boxes, but it is there and it is an asset class. And whenever you want to convert it or use it for whatever thing, buying something or whatever, you can do that. So this acceptance will take some time. They are not able to digest that. So that is where this psychology or this mindset affects their content as well. So they won't be touching that content, or only be touching it. So in my experience, and that is what I discuss with these experts coming on our shows for cryptocurrencies, that they mostly talk about it when it's in a with a negative shade. So you will get to see the stories that, okay, somebody is asking ransomware in Bitcoin. That is the
Yes.
story. So
The
that
mining is in news these days.
exactly. So that is when you get that story. Bitcoin has fallen, a big dip in Bitcoin. That is the story. Just extend that chart. What I do on a daily basis, that okay, extend that chart, open that chart full 1 year chart, and you'll see that it has risen 200% one in just 1 year. In 365 days, 360 days, or even lesser period, you'll see that it is giving you 200% results. That's not the story. They just zoom in, go to just 3 months and 6 months chart, and they'll say, see this 30% drop, 20% drop, dip. So they are trying to focus on that only. So it seems as if there is some subconsciously or maybe consciously they are trying to portray. So that is what affects. So you have to think of content with this new world, as in keeping them in mind. So I understand that, okay, film reviews are not going to work. I don't know how many people go to watch films, but web series reviews
This
is the
is
next thing. Yep. Playing gaming for traditional people, including me, is like a what, time pass kind of thing. No, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry now, and you have to accept it, and you have to focus on it, that okay, there is a sector which is gaming sector. There is money in there. There are people, stakeholders and all that stuff, and you have to focus on it like that. And that is where my content comes up. Okay, so we have to have this kind of show. So these are the things that decide. And again, back to that, the beauty of the digital media, the new age media, that my viewer tells me, my audience tells me that what they want to watch or what they want to hear about. So that keeps shaping my channel on a daily basis.
absolutely. So what I hear from you is that traditional media is actually traditional in in nature. That's what I hear. Well, so now that we are in the pandemic times, and last year we saw the first wave, and now the second wave, and obviously the third wave has started in UK, US, and it will come to India also. And I'm sure that you would know that COVID is obviously already a part of our lives, and it might just continue to be a part of our lives for next few years as well. So, in because the nature of the disease is so virulent, so do you think that in terms of saving brands running out of their businesses, does digital space give them that edge to be there with their audience? And if yes, what can these brands do? No.
So yes, things have changed drastically because of this COVID phase and the COVID era, if you can call it. So things have changed, and so many equations have changed accordingly. It is there from my point of view. It is doing both ways, as in running both ways. There are people who are badly affected, who are like don't want to call it, but say it, but it is more like destroyed completely kind of stage as well. While there are also people or the brands or the businesses which have got this as an opportunity. So tech and online kind of businesses, IT kind of businesses are taking it in a different manner, while there are traditional businesses and other businesses which are taking it getting it in a different manner. But how content and these brands and this situation is the mix of it and the kind of equation that we can think of. So think of it, we as a new age media, what we are doing and what how the other as in this entire sector is doing. You can connect on this show and you can talk about your brand from whichever corner you are in. You don't need to have huge money, you don't need to have big brand behind you, you don't need to have a big infrastructure or a big this link chain in between, that okay, you have a copcom and those kind of long as in, you understand the hierarchy and the red tape that we get to see. You don't need to get that. You are a founder. If you want to be on a show on some media, you have these opportunities, these options, and this is the beauty again, that okay, we are helping each other. So this is more like, again, think of it, traditional media, traditional businesses will also take time to digest that this revolution is here. So they, again, where you started from, that okay, content and media, so they think of new age media as more like a content platform only, coming out of it and understanding. And it's the two-way thing, as in we as a media house should also establish ourselves. I have to have that editorial ethics and that kind of vision in place, that where I say that okay, no, money can't buy you this spot. It isn't available for everybody just because you are paying me something. Or likewise, I will take care of balancing that story. I do that. So it's not, this is not an influencer marketing platform. This is, you are not talking to an influencer. So I may be an influencer as well, but if I have to say something which is for your brand, I'll do my due diligence. So it's a mix of ethics and values coming from the traditional media, but digital media is the medium for me. So we are mixing the two things, and this is how this new age media can grow. This is the only way which I how I see, basically, that this is it, how it can grow and it can create a reputation. Because if you don't have that reputation, you'll this will lead you nowhere. Then it will be just like a personal identity, me and my brand, my channel. My channel is like with me, Alex TV, and till the time I am there, I'm talking about different brands and sharing my opinion. This is there, this channel is on. If I am down, this channel is down. It shouldn't be like that. You have to have a longer vision. It should have an organizational structure. You should have those ethics, your guidelines in place. So it's me hosting this show, or it's somebody else from my team hosting this show. Those guidelines remain there, and that is how we grow the content. We gain reputation for us, for our audience, and for the brands that we showcase. So that is what I would suggest we should do, and the new age media should design their content accordingly.
Right. So we are almost towards the end of our chat. So I would like to know which are your favorite image media groups or
My favorite,
platforms,
okay,
new media platforms.
new age media platform. The most favorited founder is Founder India. My own.
Where
So
everybody
here,
loves their own kid.
exactly, and here I can be a bit biased. I can, I'm fine with that, being because that is what honesty brings in. Then I would say there are so many experiments happening which are amazing, and I don't know if so many people know about them, but because we work in this sector and we closely watch this kind of experience. So think of it. Editor G is one amazing initiative by Vikram Chandra. So again, I guess so. Maybe I don't know if that is a bias of mine, or that is how I think, that because these are people who have been in the midst of this transition. So they have seen traditional media, they have worked with traditional media for good, for long, and they understand those values and ethics, and that continues when they switch over or when they start with a digital or a new age media platform. So Vikram Chandra's Editor G is one. Um I don't know if you must be aware of Money 9. So Money 9 is TV9
Yeah.
venture. Yeah. So Money 9 is TV9's venture, which is again a financial business as in personal finance and that kind of stuff they are doing, and that is led by Rakesh Khar. And Rakesh Khar also comes with that traditional media ethics and that kind of vision. So again, so these are all organizations I would prefer if they are hashed as digital. So their DNA should also be digital. While these traditional media houses coming up with another stream which is digital, that may not be a very good idea because the DNA is very traditional. So
Yes,
very so that also makes a big difference. While Editor G, although Vikram Chandra is the guy who is leading it, but this was hashed in a different environment. So Editor G had nothing to do with his NDTV venture or his earlier venture, so it wasn't like a part of that. So
mhm.
if you start from scratch and you build and think like uh, for this community, for this kind of viewership, the TG, then you can work wonders. And Editorgy and TV9 are the two platforms that I would suggest that
Money
okay,
Nine.
more
Money
like my
Nine.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, great. Then I also see Money Nine a lot. It's pretty interesting and very crisp in its nature. And Founder India itself is very nice, and I've been seeing off late a few of your lives, Market Live and other live. So it has
Yeah.
been like really presented in a very and your target audience is this generation. So that's what you're aiming at present and future, right? So that's really interesting and
Some of
lovely talking
the
to you.
likewise, Gulpreet. Just to add on, some of these experiments around this kind of content are being done by startups which are not media houses. So Upstocks is one, CoinDCX
Mm,
is one, Policy Bazaar is one. They are creating
mm,
content. Just that it is a brand's content stream, so we don't count it as a media stream, but they are creating amazing content, and maybe we should learn, as in the new age media or the even traditional media, should learn from them that what kind of content works and how it should be created because they know it better than us. I understand. I look at it like that only. But it was lovely talking to you, Gulpreet.
we are in absolutely a new world actually. And this
Yes.
new world is so dynamic that it is changing every day, like you said earlier. So
And
lovely talking to you, Alex.
this is
And
the
I
world
think
where you can't do it all alone. You have to be, you have to work hand in hand, and together we can build this new age media, new world, and building the future together 2.0 is one this a banner which works the best. As in that hashtag is like so bang on. It says that let's build it together. And in this post-COVID era, we actually need to hold hands and build this new world together, and it will be a beautiful world, hopefully.
absolutely, absolutely. And lovely talking to you, Alex. And I think whatever you said is so valid and so relevant. And all the viewers, thank you so much for being there. Well, there were some few questions. Can we take that? I was thinking of
Yeah, sure,
it just slipped my
I
mind.
would love to
Can we have the
respond.
questions, please? There was few questions. Can we have the questions on the screen, please, so that we can read those questions? Okay. Archie is asking how technology challenged digital media in a pandemic.
So that is interesting. And again, I'm sorry for repeating myself or not repeating, but so bragging of sorts for about my own venture. But we actually use the technology like anything. Before pandemic, our model was completely different. We were working on offline content, chat shows, multicam studio shoot or recordings and all that stuff. Pandemic happened. Now you can't expect those top shots gathering in a room and doing these things. You have to do it remotely like we are doing this, and but still wanted to maintain that quality, maintain that packaging, that all those things which are editorially required. And we explored, we worked with the technology, we find new things, and these so many tools came up during this pandemic only, including the StreamYard, the tool that we are using for this stream as well. So we used it, we just collated it all, we found new things. We had to change our infrastructure a bit as well. We were using those DSLR, those cameras, high quality cameras, but how to make them stream live as well. but we sailed through. We found those tools, we connected those simple things, and that was a pivot. That was a moment where we switched over to live streaming. Last year, July, we started our first stream, and it's a different model altogether by now during this pandemic only.
Yes, thank you for that answer. I hope partly Alex did answer your questions. And we have the next question from Aditya Tiwari. How consumer behavior changed the media and digital era?
So yeah, as in it's a win-win kind for both. Consumer behavior and media are like correlated. It's not like consumer behavior changing media, or it's not like media changing consumer behavior. You tell me what kind of content you want. Your behavior decides my content, digital media's content, and my content may decide or influence your behavior. So it's a that two-way kind of traffic. So it isn't now. It's not like the earlier days where one medium or one media was deciding and saying that, okay, this spring, this season, this summer, this is the color and this is the season. It doesn't work like that. It's like a mutual thing. You tell us what is the in thing, what is new, and we talk about that, and we tell you, okay, we found this new thing, and you enjoy that, or you also try that and share your experience.
Right, great. Thank you for answering that. Can we have the next question, please? Okay. Well, I think Ruba had mentioned, I think you were saying something and she said, well said, Alexa. Now we are not only the consumer of information, but also information producers.
Absolutely. So this is a collaborative effect, and this is a new world, and we are building this future together. So that sums it all.
Great, great. And well, I've had you buy it too twice earlier. I think that is going on pretty well, and we don't want to end. But yeah, there is a time limit, and it was really nice talking to you. And I learned a lot of things personally. So thanks for bringing that value to my knowledge and obviously the listeners' knowledge. And thank you for taking out time. You are a busy person, we know, and taking out such a time is we are very thankful and honored to have you on this platform.
And look forward to meeting you someday face to face and having sharing a cup of tea. So let's looking forward to those times.
Absolutely.
Lovely talking to you, Gulpreet. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Starting this, the intention of starting this building the future together was that once the COVID will end, we will sit like in a newsroom and then kind of build this thing also. So I am looking into that as well. So
Look,
let's do
looking
that
forward to
once.
that gathering of all these people who have participated in this series, one and two, both, and who
Yeah,
can someday come together actually in a room and celebrate this all. So look forward to that and waiting
yes,
for that.
yes.
Thanks
Yes,
for
this is
having
the second
me.
series. Last year we did the series, and this is a single series. So we are hopeful to get a lot of like-minded people who believe in building the future together. And thank you once
That's a
again,
great.
and thank you everyone who was live with us. We will be back again next Friday, same time, same place. Stay tuned and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.